Hi, this is Dr. Dan Ritchie from Miracles Fitness, and I'm coming to you from San Diego. It's not actually sunny San Diego, unfortunately. I'm here with my good friend Shawna Kaminski. We're at a 2-day fitness event, and I wanted to talk with her a little bit about her program. Shawna is actually coming up on a really big birthday.
Yeah.
Here in a month or so, she's going to be hitting the big 5-0. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. You actually train primarily women in boot camps, right?
I do. Yep. Yeah, I run fitness boot camps, and I have, that's my primary demographic is women in their, 40s, early 50s, and I resonate with them because I'm one of them.
Right.
We have a lot of fun there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shawna's also a mother of 2, so she can relate with that. So tell us a little bit about just sort of your basic tips for once women kind of cross that 40, 45, creep up towards 50, like what are some of the key fitness things they should be thinking about?
Well, you know what? A lot of people think that, I turned 40 and my metabolism tanks.
Right.
They think it's the magic number at 40 that just, you wake up and it's like, my metabolism didn't wake up. But really what it is people slow down. Your kids are getting older, you're sitting down more, you're not as active, and what happens is, if you're lucky, your body weight stays the same. Most women won't find that. They'll say that, they'll say they've gained weight, but even if you're lucky, your body weight stays the same, but your muscle to fat ratio has changed. So we've gained more fat and lost a bit of muscle, and muscle is metabolically active. So we're not burning the same amount of calories even at rest. So my solution to that is add a little resistance training, and I'm not saying heavy weights. We don't have to go in the gym and pile on a ton of weights. Our body weight is enough to increase lean muscle tissue, and so we need to add that lean muscle so that we become more metabolically active.
Okay, so it's not hopeless when you turn 40, like your metabolism's
not
not
at
gone
all.
forever.
No, you can actually build metabolism a little bit. And what the cool thing is women in my boot camp, I have to keep reminding them, don't worry about the scale, worry about a measuring tape, because what happens is at the same time you're losing a bit of fat, gaining a bit of muscle, your weight might stay the same, but your jeans fit better because muscle is denser, so it takes up less space, so your jeans fit better. So you're not tight in the waist.
It's kind of that age-old myth that muscle weighs more than fat. Essentially, it's just far denser.
It's smaller. Exactly.
It
takes up less space. Exactly. So that's my number one tip for women in their 40s is get moving. But a lot of people say, well, I'm going to run a marathon. Well, you just look exactly the same as you do now. You might be a little thinner, like smaller, but you won't look any better necessarily. And so that only really addresses one aspect of fitness, which is cardiovascular. And so yes, you'll be more fit, but most people want to look more fit.
Right. I'm so glad you shared that, because so many women kind of want to do the elliptical or run on the treadmill or train for a mini marathon, but you're saying that's really not the way to get your metabolism back.
No, I mean, if you love that, that's great. If that's what you love to do that. But if you want to look better as well as loving that, add some resistance training as well. And I mean, if you don't love it, like I hate running, I don't want to do any kind of long cardio, you want to do high intensity intervals.
Okay.
Short and sweet. You can be done an interval work. You can do something in as little as 4 minutes to boost your metabolism, get your heart rate going. And one of the biggest objections to training is time. So I'm not telling women that they need to train for 3 hours a day. I train maybe 30 to 40 minutes a day, but it's consistent training over time. And then my third tip is nutrition.
Okay. And you do things like pull-ups and push-ups and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do some hardcore things. And I have some women in my boot camps, they've never done a push-up before. Now they're doing push-ups from their toes. I've got them doing assisted pull-ups, and some of them can actually do a pull-up now. So you really can, and they're not becoming big muscle,
Right.
We're not going to become super muscular. We might gain a little bit of muscle tone, not muscle mass.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a big myth I try to dispel all the time. That women aren't going to get huge just because they're strength training.
No, strength training is really the fountain of youth as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about, I know you have a product kind of specific to women, the female fat loss. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in my boot camps, I had a lot of women that were like, I'm going away, or they'd be moving away from me, and I need to, can you still help me out? So I wasn't able to help as many people as I'd like. like physically in front of me. And so I do online coaching, and I also have this program called Female Phallus Over 40. It's geared for women even approaching their 40s, in their 40s, and now you mentioned today, what are you going to do for women over 50? Because that's going to be me soon.
So soon coming out will be Female Phallus Over 50?
Actually, the principles are the same though,
Sure,
right? It's
sure.
it's geared to increasing lean muscle tissue. It's at-home workouts, a meal plan that's going to help. I don't want people to be reading from a paper. It's learning, proper nutrition, and it kind of just addresses our issues, hormonally, and all the issues that we have as we get into our 40s and early 50s.
So would you say, is this a product that'd be appropriate for any beginner, any woman out there that's just saying, I'm struggling with, it feels like my metabolism's left me, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, because there's things, there's ways to modify and intensify workouts. Like in my boot camp, I'll have someone that just did a sprint triathlon, and I'll have Mrs. Jones that hasn't exercised in 20 years.
Okay.
And we're training side by side, and there's ways to do that, and my program addresses that, and my boot camp does. So, you can kind of fit everybody in there. And it's the intensity that you bring to it. The triathlete is going to do, much more work in the amount of time, and the Mrs. Jones that hasn't trained before, she will modify everything and do fewer reps, and that's totally fine. Lots of time sets, and easy to follow directions, but not necessarily easy to follow workouts. It's what you bring to it.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Shawna. Thanks so much for sharing with us. If you're interested in Shawna's product, which is a fabulous product, you can just click the link just below to find out more about that. I've known Shawna now for about 3 years. We've been coming to different fitness events.
Probably longer.
Maybe longer. So I didn't even realize she was approaching 50. So congratulations on that milestone coming up. I know she's excited about that.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Anyway, just click that link below if you're interested in checking out Shawna's product. And thanks again. This is Dan Ritchie from Miracles Fitness.
I think that went well.
Yeah. It was right
Are you